How's everyone doing this morning? Good. I know you look good and you sound good. Now, does anyone know what we're talking about today?
Black History Month.
That's right. That's right. I heard her say your name. Etinosa. That's a very nice name. Black History Month. You're exactly right. But we're not just talking about Black History Month. That's one month. Black history is something that we learn year-round. So, does anyone know what history is?
Yeah.
Now, wait. Put your hands down. Listen to the question. Does anyone know what history is?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
History is when a long time ago and it's making progress.
Woo-hoo! Listen to that vocabulary. What's your name, sir?
TJ.
TJ is smart and is very articulate. You articulated that very well. In other words, he said it very clearly. He spoke very thoroughly. He was confident in his answer. He said one thing. History is something that happened a long time ago. History can also be something that's happening now. It can be happening yesterday. It's just in the past. But he's right. We use this to make progress. It's very important. Now, is everything in history good?
Yes.
Not exactly. Some things in history were bad. So that's why we study history. So we look at the things that they did bad, and they say, we're not going to do that. You learn from their mistakes. If they did something wrong, we can't repeat the same thing. Now, what if they did something good? Do we want to repeat that?
Yes.
Exactly. And so today, we're talking about things that they did good. Now, I'm going to show you a picture, and you tell me if you know who this is. It's a hard one. Okay, young lady's hand went up in the back. Yes. Okay. I knew it's a difficult one. It's a challenging one. This gentleman's name is Garrett Morgan. Can anybody tell me what Garrett Morgan did? Yes, sir. You had your hand up first.
He was a president.
We're getting there. Take your time. Young lady, what's your name? Don't know you. Are you a new student? What did he do?
Invented the traffic lights.
You are exactly right. You must have a handsome daddy. She's exactly right. Everybody say Garrett Morgan.
Garrett Morgan.
Traffic light.
Traffic light.
Traffic light.
Traffic light.
Garrett Morgan.
Garrett Morgan.
Does anybody ride the bus to school?
Yes.
Does anybody ride with their parents?
Yes.
Do you have to stop at the traffic light?
Yes.
So what happens when it turns red? What does it mean?
Stop.
What is if it's yellow? What does it mean?
Stop.
And when it's green, what does it mean? Woo! However, you look before you take off. Now, how can you look at the traffic light? And see, you can't remember. From here on out, never raise your hand until you hear the question. You have not heard the question yet. How can you look at the traffic light and know that was an African American that invented the traffic light? Don't raise your hand unless you know. Don't guess. Okay, young lady in the leopard shirt. How can you look at it and tell? How do you look at the colors?
You look up.
You do look up at a traffic light. And when you look up, what do you see? Mr. Parker, do you have lights? Can you dim the lights just maybe close to here? Perfect. We can see it a little bit better. Okay. The reason you know it's an African American that invented the traffic light is by the colors. And never forget this. These are the colors of the African country's flags. So in other words, they use red, yellow, and green. And each one of them means something. Red is for the bloodshed. That's sacrifices that people made in the land of Africa. Yellow is for the gold. They had to dig up gold or mine gold out of the canyons in Africa. And green is for the luscious green grass over the land of Africa. That's how you can look at that and tell that an African American invented the traffic light. When you get in the car with your parents, say Garrett Morgan did that. Say Garrett Morgan.
Garrett Morgan.
Traffic light.
Traffic light.
You're exactly right. Now, remember we said history is not something that necessarily happened a long time ago. This lady's name is Kathy Hughes. Kathy Hughes is an entrepreneur. Everybody say entrepreneur.
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 An entrepreneur is a person that owns and operates their own business. So therefore, anyone ever been to McDonald's? Did you get food at McDonald's? Did you all have to give them money at McDonald's? That's because that's someone's business. Shh, listen. That's how business is. You give them money, they give you a product, which is in this case food, or a service. They do something for you. Or you have your business. They give you money, and you provide a service. So say your business is raking leaves. Okay, so if that's your business, if you go rake someone's leaves, they pay you money for that because that's your business. And then you are an entrepreneur. Kathy Hughes is an entrepreneur to the next level. Anyone ever listen to the radio? She owns 100 radio stations. Her company is called Radio One. But she didn't stop there. She took it to the next level. She also owns TV One. So she has her own television network. One way to come up in business is by owning the business, controlling the business. But there's another way. Another way to come up in business is to have your own. I'm sorry. First is to have your own. The second is to work your way up in what they call a corporation. Everyone say corporation.
Corporation.
That means not one person owns it, but several people own it together. That's a corporation. Now, does anybody get a homework packet? Now, with that homework packet, is it in books or is it on copies?
Copy.
What makes the copies? The copier.
Printer.
That's right. The printer. Exactly right. So Xerox is one of the largest makers of copy machines that make those copies for you. And this lady here, Ursula Burns, is what you call the CEO of Xerox, one of the largest companies in the world. Everybody say CEO.
CEO.
I can't hear you. Let me say CEO.
CEO.
CEO. Chief Executive Officer. That's what CEO stands for. Anybody ever watch Odd Squad? Anybody know Miss O? Miss O is the CEO of Odd Squad. But that's pretend. In real life, Ursula Burns is the CEO of Xerox. She's the top. There gets no higher than that in any company. The CEO. Say CEO.
CEO.
Ursula Burns.
Ursula Burns.
All the girls, raise your hand. Now I want you to repeat after me. Say, if she can do it, I can do it.
If she can do it, I can do it.
I can't hear you, girls.
If she can do it, I can do it.
One more time.
If she can do it, I can do it.
You're exactly right. Now let's look at it from a different perspective. You know who that is? You want to know who that is, brother? Go ahead. Who is that? Yep, it's up there. Bob Johnson. Exactly right. Now, has anyone ever heard of BET? Okay. The television station. The television network is called BET. Robert Johnson, Bob Johnson, listen up, everyone, started BET. It's his own company. He worked it, he grew it, and made it a good, and listen, gentlemen, listen. He made it a good company. When he did that, he was able to sell it for over $3 billion. He instantly became a billionaire. He also is an entrepreneur. One way to move up in business. You can also move up in business through companies, corporations. A lot of people own it together. Have you ever been to a restaurant? Your parents pay for the food?
Yes.
Do they always use money or sometimes they use a card? So, there's a company that has to pay for those cards, that sells them that card. One of them is called American Express. American Express is one of the largest credit card companies in the world. And guess, young man, put your hand down. And guess who the CEO of American Express is? Ken Chenault. Everybody say Ken Chenault.
Ken Chenault.
Ken Chenault.
Ken Chenault.
CEO.
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 Executive Officer. Now, he worked his way to the top of this company. Young men, raise your hand. Every boy in the room, raise your hand. I want you to say, if he can do it, we can do it. If he can do it, we can do it. If he can do it, we can do it. You're exactly right. Now, who knows who these ladies are?
These are the girls. Oh, Serena.
Yeah, say it.
Serena.
Are they sisters?
Yes.
Serena on the left, Venus on the right. Now, what sport do they play?
Tennis.
Exactly right. Now, has anyone in this room ever taken a tennis lesson? No? How many people have actually taken a tennis class? How many in this room have ever played basketball? Exactly. Okay, put your hands down. And everyone listen. And you are exactly right. Listen, gentlemen, why can't you be quiet?
Every day, Mr. Hardy.
Okay. So,
Working on mission set.
from here on out, listen up, okay? Everyone listen. Serena and Williams play tennis. If you notice, when we asked who took a tennis lesson, a few people raised their hand. When we talked about basketball, everyone raised their hand. And there's nothing wrong with basketball. It's great. But try something different. We always play basketball and football, but what about tennis? What about golf? What about field hockey? What about soccer? What about baseball? Try something good. Try, listen, put your head down. No. Try something different. Try something, everyone listen. Try something new. Anyone going to college? College is very expensive, so therefore it costs a lot of money. They give out scholarships. Scholarships help you pay for college where you don't have to pay for it. So therefore, they give out scholarships in golf, tennis, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, just like they do for basketball and football. Try something different. Serena and Venus tried something different, and they're very good at it. Serena and Venus worked hard, and they played, how many, single is how many? Double is how many? So therefore, they play together often in doubles, and they never lose in doubles. Serena Williams was the #1 ranked tennis player in the world several years ago. And then she took ill. She got sick, really sick. She dropped from #1 to number 175. But she came back and she said, I'm going to be the best in the world. And she worked on her fundamentals. Can everyone say fundamentals?
Fundamentals.
Those are your basics. That's what you're doing right now. They have fundamentals in sports and they have fundamentals in school. When you learn your addition and your writing and your coloring, those are your fundamentals, things that you will use the rest of your life. The same thing in tennis. Serena went back to her fundamentals and she again became the best in the world. #1 in the world. Almost won the Grand Slam, which is the best out of 4 that you can get. So therefore, that's how life is. Keep on going and keep on getting. Does anyone know who this is?
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is new. This is an old picture. Now, if you know, say it. If you don't know, it's okay. This gentleman's name is Booker T.
Washington.
Now, we talked about college, right? So tell me the order. You go from elementary school to what? Junior high. From junior high to high school. From high school, then you go to college. Exactly right. But there was a time.